So now that we know how to work with strings, we're going to move on to the spread syntax to work with objects and arrays. Let's imagine we have one object for a Pokemon and the other one for the stats that define its various attributes. Let's say we want to assign the properties from the stats object to the Pikachu object. One way to do that is to just redefine them one by one on the original Pikachu object. For one, this is just really ugly and verbose, but we're also mutating the original object when we most likely want to create a new immutable object. Because let's say that our Pokemon levels up over time, we want to represent each level up as its own object. We could use object assign here and take the original object and merge it in with the stats, and this will merge them together from left to right. Or if we just wanted to update a single property, we could add an object with that property in it. This isn't too bad, but there's a more concise way to do this with the spread syntax. By creating a new object and placing our existing objects in it with 3 dots in front of them, it will compose a new object from left to right. So the properties farthest to the right will have the priority. Again, this is mostly just syntactic sugar, and it just makes your code more readable and easier to maintain. And it's also possible to use the spread syntax on arrays. So let's imagine we have an array of strings and we need to push additional items to this array. The old school way to do this would be to just push new items to the array one by one. But in today's world, we can reduce these 3 lines of code to just one by defining an array with the new items and then the spread syntax on the original array. If we add the 3 dots to the beginning, then it's the equivalent of doing an array push, because it will append the new items to the end of the array. But the nice thing is we could just add this to the end of the array, and then we have the equivalent of array shift. And we might even take the original values and just splice them in the middle of the array, giving us even more flexibility. And this code brings back some memories. You see this little trailing comma here? This used to be the kind of thing that would break an entire JavaScript program and be really difficult to figure out. But luckily in modern JavaScript, it just works, and it's actually kind of considered a good practice because you can reduce the number of lines that change when you do git commits.